maro nandena he. Maro nandena he.
Hello, everyone out there. I hope you're amazing. We've come to the last chapter of our book, and I'm very excited to bring you this exploration of what to think about after your journey has concluded, after you've been through integration. Maybe you're thinking about your next ceremony already. I know I always do. Maybe you think, well, you don't need any more ceremonies. I would say that one ceremony is not enough usually, and that there's a lot of unpacking to do in our psyches. Most of us carry so much trauma that it'll take several ceremonies to really dig in deep and find trauma that lives in the nooks and crannies of our souls. Encourage you to stay open to more ceremonies, more opportunities, more work with this beautiful medicine. We'll talk about those things in this chapter and a few departing thoughts, including making life changes. You may have had some insights during the journey that you decided you wanted to live in a different way. I encourage you to go gently, go slowly, wait for a few weeks. I don't know. I kind of I hear this recommendation: wait before you make any major changes, like breaking up with your partner or quitting your job. Just give it a little space. One of my teachers says that when he has a big decision, he'll think about that decision on the new moon. And if he still feels that same decision, that same direction on the next new moon, then he will do it. He will take that action. I think that's really good advice. I have to say that I haven't always taken that advice, and I've made changes very fast after ceremony. They've always been very positive, but I'm a very spontaneous person, and I don't like to sit on things too much. I like to take action. So, in general, I think it's really good advice to wait for any major decisions before you pull the trigger. Wishing everyone a wonderful journey. Thank you so much for joining me on this path. And I wanted to say, if any of you, after your ceremony, you need somebody to talk to, need some advice, I'm here for you. Any listener or reader of my book, I'm offering a free session. So if you would love some integration help or just need to talk about some of the things that you experience during your ceremony and you can't find anyone, then I'm happy to offer that to you. Enjoy this chapter. Have a great day.
Chapter 7. Returning from the Ceremony. Ceremony allows you to release the energies, programming, and beliefs that are preventing you from living your fullest potential. The Ultimate Guide to Shamanism. Rebecca Keating. Now that you've returned from the ceremony, you must consider a few things. We've already discussed how you should start and maintain your integration process, but there are a few other things to keep in mind. Returning to the ceremony. If you've had a fantastic experience, you will most likely want to return to the feelings you've experienced. Even if you didn't have a great experience, you might be curious to know if there's more to it than what you saw and felt. Some people get encouraged by the changes they see in themselves after the ceremony and want more insights about their inner selves. These are all good reasons for trying ayahuasca again. However, some might wonder if you can get addicted to ayahuasca. After all, when you feel like experiencing something again and again, how do you know if it's because you have experienced a profound spiritual or therapeutic connection, or because you have gotten used to the high you might experience during a ceremony? After all, isn't that similar to an addiction to other drugs? Clinically speaking, no evidence exists that people can develop a tolerance to ayahuasca. This means that, as of now, there's an extremely low risk of developing an addiction to this brew. However, this doesn't mean you cannot get psychologically addicted to the drug. By this, I mean that you might convince yourself that ayahuasca ceremonies are the only way to heal or understand yourself better. I understand why you might think that. The people who have seen the positive effects of ayahuasca on their mental health can swear that nothing else even comes close. Some people equate one night spent with ayahuasca to years of therapy. When the anecdotal evidence is so promising, one cannot be blamed for wanting to be a part of this miracle. However, we already know that your experience does not have to mimic anyone else's experiences with the vine. There is a high probability that all sessions will also differ for you. So, if you think you had a fantastic experience this time, there's no guarantee that the same thing will happen again. This doesn't mean that you might not come across visions or feelings you have encountered before. It simply means that you shouldn't bet on it. Return to the ceremony when you're ready to surrender, or if you feel called. Only you will know the right time and cadence for your healing. However, you should refrain from jumping from one ceremony to another because of the integration process. As mentioned in the last chapter, most of the work begins after you have participated in the ceremony. This process of integration isn't over the morning after the ceremony. It might take months to assimilate everything we've learned and put it into practice. Sometimes we need to learn new skills to ensure we reach our new goals. Quite often, this takes time. If you find yourself keener on the ceremony than the work that needs to come afterward, you should return to your intentions. Additionally, if you use the ceremony to escape your current reality, that's not a good idea. More often than not, the ceremony will make you come face to face with everything you've been running from. This is not to say that you should not consider returning to the ceremony. Many believe you will get more benefits once you become more comfortable with the vine. However, always be honest about why you want to do so. If you have good reasons to go back and can manage your expectations, then return. I hope you have a meaningful experience when you do. In my particular case, I get called back frequently, and I honor that call wholeheartedly. Life changes. When you return from the ceremony, the first couple of weeks can be the hardest in terms of getting reacquainted with your life. While it's rare, some people can experience the effects of ayahuasca even a week after returning. This usually includes purging, but it might also include experiencing altered states of consciousness. This means you might suddenly feel on a different plane of existence. You can also have visions or out-of-body experiences in certain extreme cases. This is why it's important to spend time at home, or in a safe space, for some time after a ceremony. The best thing you can do is spend time resting or soaking yourself in nature. You can also do relaxing activities with loved ones. It's recommended that you have people you can trust, just in case you have an experience and feel unmoored from reality. You can also spend time soothing your senses during this period. Be mindful that you will likely have a heightened sensitivity to many sensations at the time. So try not to overwhelm yourself with anything. Ease back into your regular life and give yourself ample time to rest and reflect. Another thing to remember is that you should be able to reach out to your retreat center or facilitator if you experience something out of the ordinary after returning home. While your friends and family members can comfort you, they might need more help in terms of actual information and solutions. The person who should be able to explain things to you, including why you might be having a particular reaction to the experience, is your facilitator. Additionally, hiring a therapist or coach who understands how ayahuasca works, and ideally has experience with ayahuasca, is always helpful. Press pause. I've talked about the importance of taking time to self-reflect after returning from the ceremony. Your integration process should include moments of self-reflection and work with people who can help you define priorities and goals in your new life. However, all of this comes with a caveat. When I say new life, I don't mean that everything necessary before the ceremony will become meaningless. Neither am I telling you to throw your old life away for a new one. Just as you will be sensitive to external stimuli at this time, so too will you find yourself in a different state of mind. You might have an extra burst of energy, a passion for achieving everything on your wish list, and a reduced tolerance for those you think aren't aligning with your new path. This is what we call a ceremonial afterglow. The first couple of weeks is usually when you experience the most intense afterglow of the ceremony. I'm not saying that this is misplaced. Maybe whatever you think needs to change is real. Maybe your concerns are spot on. Maybe you finally have the clarity you need regarding your relationships. None of this has to be false, but it can be way more intense than needed. Consequently, your actions might become more drastic than required. We sometimes need drastic actions to help us make fundamental changes. One of my friends, after a ceremony, knew that he had to leave his wife and make a major change. He told me the details the day after the ceremony. It took him 5 months to take the actions prompted by ayahuasca in that ceremony. A little drastic action would have saved him a ton of suffering. This behavior isn't exclusive to a psychedelic experience. Have you ever felt so excited at a prospect that you forgot to do your due diligence? Have you ever fallen head over heels for someone and thrown caution to the wind? Similarly, have you quit a job in the heat of the moment without making a backup plan? We're all prone to making rash decisions when we're under immense pressure or feeling extremely bored with our lives. Sometimes this works out, and sometimes it doesn't. Rasha reminds us in Oneness that every action and non-action is part of our chosen path. There is nothing that you are capable of being different from, for all of it is your creation. Your life is a living reflection of your vibrational essence. As crucial as our instincts are in making decisions, we cannot base all our decisions solely on what we feel in the moment. More importantly, Most of us don't have the kind of instincts that we should be proud of. It takes time to sharpen our intuition and make balanced decisions. The integration process doesn't ask us to act first and think later. The more time you take to think and reflect on your decisions, the better your chances of creating a life that holds meaning. Wait a few weeks. Talk to people you trust, journal, and reflect on your feelings. If, after self-reflection, you still feel like you should make the changes you feel strongly about, then go ahead. Sometimes you will know something is so right in the center of your heart of hearts that you won't need any reflection. When you have that feeling, trust it and take action. Conclusion. If you're reading this book, you felt drawn to participating in an ayahuasca ceremony. Maybe you have friends who have participated in their ceremonies, or you've read accounts of people who have benefited immensely. Maybe you've heard from a famous person that ayahuasca has changed their lives unimaginably. Maybe you want to see what all the fuss is about finally. There's nothing wrong with being curious. You should always seek knowledge, especially about things otherwise alien to you. If you've picked up the book only to understand what ayahuasca ceremonies look like, or what one can expect from them, by all means do so. However, there's a good chance you will be more interested in the ceremony than you had previously thought. This is usually how it works with psychedelics, and ayahuasca in particular. So, what if you've been considering participating in a ceremony yourself? Most likely, you would be excited and nervous in equal measure. You might find yourself surrounded by numerous questions. Where should I take part in the ceremony? Who should I contact? Who should I turn to for advice? What are the things to keep in mind when participating in the ceremony? What do I need to do in terms of preparation? How much preparation is too much preparation? However, before you go on to these questions, consider other questions. These might not seem directly related to the ceremony, but bear with me. First, have you been discontented with how your life is going? Most of us will answer yes, but you should dig deeper. What are the areas of your life that you feel the most dissatisfied with? Are the specific issues new, or have they always been at the back of your mind? If so, why do you think they've become so important right now? These are difficult questions, and you should focus on them only a little. I understand that, but I would still want you to try. Not only are these questions important for you to determine whether you want to participate in the ceremony, but they will also help you prepare for the ceremony in case you decide to go. These questions will form the basis of your intentions. When you ask yourself these questions, you should also ask whether you've tried other methods to help you with your feelings. If not, why? If yes, then ask yourself why they haven't worked for you. This is important for you to determine why this particular approach will work better than others. Are you trying to go to a ceremony because everything else has failed? Or is it because you think certain parts of your psyche cannot be addressed through more conventional methods? By now, you must know what is not working for you, and why you want to try different approaches. There is another question to ask yourself at this point. Are you trying to run away from your current life? Or are you trying to change it for the better? Will this ceremony make things easier for you once you go back? Or do you expect things to get harder after the ceremony? There is no right or wrong answer, but there are honest and dishonest ones. You don't need to convince me or anyone else that you are the right fit for an ayahuasca ceremony. No criterion in the world can determine that. The only thing you need to do is understand the true motivations behind your interest in this experience. Let's try a slightly different approach. What if I gave you some answers or suggestions of what you can expect from the ceremony? What if I told you that the ceremony would have its highs, but it will also have its lows? Also, what if both the highs and lows are equally intense? What if there is a possibility of you having an experience that is primarily boring or even difficult? What if you come back feeling exceptionally sensitive to everything? What if, instead of feeling more connected with the world, you feel intensely alone after the ceremony? What if you have all this energy but don't know where to put it? What if you feel like your entire world has turned upside down? If my questions have left you a little breathless, good. You're now getting some sense of what the ceremony, or its aftermath, might feel like. What if I told you that no matter what you're expecting from the ceremony, you'll most likely have an experience you are not prepared for? These questions aren't meant to scare you away. They're meant to help you understand whether you'll be able to undertake this journey or not. Before you make your decision, you will likely read blogs, articles, and books like this to understand better what to expect. You might even watch videos that help you prepare for the journey ahead. You might follow all the rules, do everything that is asked of you, and research as much as possible. While all of that is essential, even necessary, to help you navigate this experience, more is needed. Ayahuasca has a spirit that is all her own. She's the only one who can decide whether you should be communicated with and how. You will also direct the experience, but only to the extent that a vessel makes itself available for energy to flow through it. If I try to glamorize this experience or make it look an exciting way of spending your time, I will be doing you a disservice. Instead, I will ask you if you want to do the hard work. Are you willing to go through this experience without any specific expectations? Are you willing to surrender to whatever happens, especially if it's dark and unpleasant? Are you going to immerse yourself in these experiences and not shy away when things get difficult? This ceremony might test you in ways you do not expect. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean that your experiences will only be unpleasant. There's a chance that you will be a part of something so amazing and euphoric that everything else will pale in comparison. If you think that good experiences cannot be challenging, you've not had one on ayahuasca. When you return from a challenging experience, you might not know how to care for yourself or do the healing work necessary to let go of these emotions. You might even struggle with anger, shame, and self-loathing. Your trust in people can also be shaken. This makes sense, as difficult as it might be. However, what do you do when you have a fantastic experience? What if you experience beautiful visions that show you the beauty of this and other worlds? What if you have an emotional experience where you can forgive someone else and find peace within yourself? What if you see the true nature of this world and your heart fills with unconditional love? What if you return from this experience with expanded consciousness and a better understanding of your higher purpose. Will things get easier? In many ways, it might get harder. There are enough people worldwide who are nursing their wounds and coping with their traumas. While everyone might still be ready to do the work, you will likely find enough support from others if you confide in them. However, very few people are spiritually exalted and believe in spreading light to other beings. You are here to change that. Are you a light worker? Would you want to become someone who sees the light in everybody, even those who don't see it in themselves? Will you carry the lightness of love through the burden of life? Some of these questions need to be more abstract. Some of them seem extremely far-fetched as well. That said, nothing is more abstract and concrete than the experience you're about to have. It will simultaneously feel like the only real thing in the world and the wildest dream ever. These questions will help you understand whether you're ready for the ceremony. Remember, the decision to participate in this ceremony should be yours and yours alone. Nothing should persuade you to do so, not even this book. And even if you have the right intentions and want to solve your problems once and for all, don't expect ayahuasca to do that for you. No amount of ayahuasca in the world can take the place of your actions and decisions. Ayahuasca isn't a panacea for your ills. It is a doorway to self-knowledge, and for me, it has been the greatest gift of life. If you're willing to push the boundaries of what you've always known and expand your consciousness, if you want to meet all of yourself, and if you want to start redefining your life, you are more than welcome to be a part of this journey. This book is an effort to make you feel less alone on this path, to make you understand that your trials and tribulations are as much a milestone as your successes, and to tell you that it's okay not to know things sometimes. Are you ready to manifest into the unknown? This book will not give you all the answers, but will help you form the right questions to direct your life. In the end, I would like to mention certain things. First, you should always consult your doctor and prioritize your health when dealing with any major changes in your lifestyle or undertaking a psychedelic journey. No matter how exciting things might look, and no matter how badly you want to get on the other side of this experience, nothing is worth compromising your mental or physical health. Second, choose safe environments to be vulnerable in. If possible, go for your first experience with someone you trust. If nothing else, you will have peace of mind that you're not going through this alone. Third, always respect the vine and understand that you're a part of something deeply spiritual that holds a lot of meaning to indigenous communities. Consider yourself fortunate to be able to partake in this experience, and make the most of it with deep gratitude and an open heart. If you're still trying to figure out how to move forward with plant medicine, and you require further guidance or coaching, I offer confidential initiation and integration counseling via aya101.com. That's aya101.com, to either help prepare you for your first journey or to assist in the integration process.
Thanks to everyone who listened to the book. Please subscribe to this podcast if you enjoy the content. And I would love a review on Amazon please just search for the book Ayahuasca for Beginners by me, Derek, and leave a 5-star review. Would be amazing. Stay tuned to this podcast. We're going to continue this, even though the book is over. We're going to bring you interviews and some of my thoughts on different aspects of the medicine journey. I really look forward to hanging out with you more and bringing you part of my world, part of the world that I find so valuable, so important. We're so lucky to have access to these medicines and to the plants, and this is my way of giving back. Hausch, hausch.